Wanted to go ahead and share with you guys what it looks like for the first 24 hours after I pick up a new horse. This little girl is a BLM Mustang, but she's going to get basically the same treatment that all of my auction horses get. I had to have her run onto the trailer with a chute system. This is actually the same way I had to run Studman on the trailer, as well as Scarlet when she was purchased from the horse sale. As far as wild horses loading, this girl actually did really well.
She just hops right in like all day long.
Hey, little one. Look at you. Look at you. You're so smart. I have a feeling that I'm going to end up comparing this girl to Scarlet a lot just to kind of see the difference. When I bought Scarlet at the sale, I purchased 2 other horses at the same time just so she would have friends to ride in the trailer, but this girl I had to haul home all by herself. As usual, the boys were very excited to see the new horse.
Keep going a little bit more.
This part is a little bit on the tricky side. I'm pretty certain she's going to be calm, but if things get a little bit hairy, this is a precarious place to be. Even though she was pretty worried, she hopped off straight away and Ziggy made sure to greet her pretty enthusiastically. Because it would be terrible if this girl got loose, I had my husband pull the trailer forward so I could secure the new girl in her pen. When I was picking my Mustang, I wanted to make sure that I got one that I thought was not going to test the fence. Up until quite recently, Scarlet pushed on the fences. She jumped over them when she was just a few months old. I was a little bit nervous when I got home and unloaded the new girl and she started pacing the fence immediately. I am, of course, going to take into consideration the fact that she was moved from the holding facility to the fairgrounds where the adoption event was taking place. She was there for a little bit less than 24 hours and then I loaded her into the trailer and brought her here.
You're okay.
When I was deciding where to put my little Mustang pen, I decided to put it as close to Ziggy and the girls and Frisco Bill as possible. It always helps these new horses if when they get to their new place, they can see some other horses being treated well. I think out of all of the horses, Ziggy was probably the most excited to see this girl. I think he might be hoping to add this one to his little collection of mares. I really don't want this girl getting any more frantic than she already is, and she has already been pacing quite a bit.
All right. There you go.
It may seem like a small detail, but it's pretty exciting that this girl is already starting to get brave enough to take snacks from my hands. It seems like all horses would be brave enough to do this, but horses that haven't been handled, wild Mustangs, reservation horses, some of them do have a really hard time taking treats or being hand-fed from a human. I know I had Scarlet at least over a year before she ever tried to take any kind of food from me. This new girl, though, seems to be quite a bit braver than Scarlet was. I think she is finding it a little bit unsettling being able to look out over the pasture and down the canyon. I'm gonna try and let her work it out for a few more minutes, but if she doesn't stop pacing back and forth, I think I'm gonna have to change up a little something with her pen. She's been home about 5 minutes and she just now noticed all of the boys across the woods in their pasture. If the information that I got from the internet is correct, this girl was gathered with her mother when she was 6 months old. So she was twice Scarlett's age when she was captured off the range. For any of you guys that are new to my channel, Scarlett is a reservation horse that I have that is now 3 years old. Unlike the new girl that was gathered by the BLM with a helicopter, Scarlett,
Ooh, easy,
I'm not
girlfriend.
100% sure how she was captured, but she does have some very suspicious marks on her legs from being roped and probably hogtied. She did not go to the auction with her mother and was very young. I know this little red-headed girl was
That's a
captured
good
with
girl.
her mother and her sister. Compared to Scarlett, she probably had a much easier time adjusting because she would have been with horses that she knew in holding. Scarlett would have been captured and maybe held for a day or two and then taken straight to the sale. I think in the end that probably has something to do with Scarlett's mind when I got her compared to this new girl. This little lady is a lot more brave and I'm hoping to get my hands on her pretty quickly. We've been
Good
home
ponies.
for about 30 minutes now and I don't like the way this
Oh,
girl is
easy, girl.
pacing back and
You're
forth,
alright.
so I think I'm gonna move my trailer so she can't see so far on the horizon. It doesn't look like this girl is too scared of my trailer moving around, and this should block her view of the distance. Since she has no other herd mates in her pen with her, she is going to be on high alert looking for predators and things that might cause her danger. Compared to a domestic bred horse, this is going to be something that's a little bit different. Although, come to think of it, when I got Ziggy, he did do a lot of pacing along the fence line until he finally calmed down in his new situation. While I would love to jump right in with this girl, we do have some family coming in a couple of days and I need to get the house ready. I also think this girl is probably a bit overwhelmed from everything that's happened over the last 2 days, so tonight I'm just gonna give her some food and let her hang out. I have a feeling that once I leave, she's gonna calm down a little bit more, and I can see her from the window in my house anyway. I was really happy to see that she was guzzling water. This time of year, it gets a little bit colder overnight and then warmer during the day, and if these horses aren't drinking very well, it can lead to colic. I'm gonna let her out here with her few little piles of alfalfa, and then I'll come back and check on her in an hour or two.
Let's check your poops.
After being in her
That's
new
all
home
right.
for a few hours, it looks like she is settling in pretty well. I can tell by the footing that she has been trotting around quite a bit. I'm hoping this just gets easier and easier for her as she calms down.
You been swimming? Little girl.
Since this girl is eating her hay really well, I'm going to do a little taste test. I've got some growth feed for her, some Grow and Win, which is the ration balancer, then a textured sweet type feed, and then some senior feed. I did get her a supplement that is really supposed to help young horses calm down. I gave it to Scarlett and I thought it worked really well. It's pretty expensive, so I need to make sure that I have a feed that she'll actually eat before I sprinkle it in. There is a pretty good possibility that she won't want to eat any of these, but if there's one that she likes, then I'll start giving that
Hey,
to
little
her
girl.
and maybe put some
Watching the
vitamin E
boys?
in here as well. This girl hasn't been out on pasture since she was
Eating your own
gathered,
poop?
so it's something that she definitely could use some more of. This is probably the first time she's ever seen a feed pan, so it's pretty interesting to see a wild horse figure these things out for the first time.
Oh.
Even when this girl is investigating new things that she doesn't understand, she is pretty brave. If she gets scared, she reacts and then calms right back down, which is really nice to see. I am really happy that she's been respecting the fence. I don't think she's even leaned on them one time. I did see her trotting around quite a bit, but she never got that far off look in her eye like she wanted to sail over them and run off to the range. It does look like she's still figuring out these feed pans and learning that there are snacks inside for her. I'll probably do this for a few more feedings, and if she does not want to
Hey, you
eat any
hungry?
of the feeds, then
Hey,
I'll just
there.
start giving her Grow and Win
Alright.
so all of her nutritional needs are
Neck hurt,
met.
girly?
I had a few of you guys ask about Prim the other day.
Good
Prim
girls.
is not due to foal until May, so this new girl will get trained up and into her new home before the new baby comes. We have been seeing a ton of
You
deer
see them
around,
there?
and this little girl seemed to be pretty interested in them but not scared. She would have seen them out on the range, so she shouldn't really be scared of them. It looks like after emptying her feed pans, she is liking maybe the senior feed and then the Grow and Win, I think this was. Since this horse grew up on the range and the forage that was available is pretty sparse, I got to make sure that I'm not feeding her too much. She is a pretty healthy weight right now, so if I really shovel the feed to her, it could lead to some orthopedic problems as she's growing. Technically, she's a long yearling, so she'll be 2 in the springtime. She was probably one of the bigger babies that was available for adoption. One of the reasons that I picked her instead of the little sorrel with the star is I was a little bit worried about a smaller horse possibly getting hurt by the mountain lion that we have around here. This girl is a tiny bit smaller than Ziggy, so she's basically a full-size horse.
Hey, little girl. Got all your poops.
The next morning, it looked like this girl ate all of her alfalfa except a few little bits that I put inside her shed for her. The outputs are looking great, which is something that I always check. It seems like she still is a little bit fresh this morning,
Oh,
and
you're
I
okay,
think
little
that
girl.
has something to do with the temperature. I've actually seen her trot around quite a bit already, and she is a super cute mover. There's still some of the texturized sweet feed in the pan, a little bit of
Hey,
the
little
Grow and
girl,
Win,
you're
and
alright.
it looks like she did eat all
You're
of the
okay.
senior feed. I've got a lot of house cleaning to do today, so I'm not going to be able to spend big chunks of time with this girl. One thing that is really cool is I can actually almost see to the area what she was gathered from. It's really close to my house. My plan for today is to come
Little
out and
girl.
check on her several times, offer her some feed, and hopefully she'll
Aren't you
continue to
smart,
eat
girl?
from my hand.
Whoa.
She's still not too sure about it, but she loves alfalfa, so that makes it a little bit easier for her to gain the courage to come over and get a snack from me. I'm going to do a little bit of testing today to see exactly how reactive she is. I think she's perked up quite a bit since yesterday, but it doesn't seem like some of the things I thought she would be
Nothing?
scared of have been worrisome
Great
to her.
girl.
It was really interesting. I noticed the closer I was to her round pen, the more she thought she needed to trot around this morning. As I do my little tiny
going?
session throughout the day, I am going to work a bit
Hey, good
harder to
girl.
become friends with her so she's not so nervous around me. Today she seems to be much more strong-willed and independent than she was yesterday. She is seemingly getting braver by the hour, so it doesn't seem like she even cares about my company.
There you go. That's a good girl. There you go.
It seems as though this girl is brave enough to take snacks, but otherwise she is totally fine ignoring me. It seems like she is much more interested in the other horses and what the neighbors are doing. But for less than 24 hours at
That's a
her
good
new
girl.
home, I think this is a really good start.
What do you think, Zig?
I have a bunch of cleaning to do outside. I've got to
Girls.
clean up Frisco and Nigel's leftover hay and put it into
Boy,
the
Nigel.
boys' dry lot. The stuff that's not good enough to eat, I am going to move to my compost pile.
Hey, old boy.
These are the perfect kind of activities for the new girl to see.
Nigel. Boy. What are you doing?
So far, this girl has done a pretty good job at just tolerating me, and I want to get a better idea of what she's actually like. She's been standing by herself just chilling for a while, so I came up to her fence line to offer her her treat. I think she's actually full by this point, so I wandered a little bit closer to see if I could get her to come over. This is sped up, but she took 2 tiny steps back, which is my signal that she just does not want to be around me yet. I'm not going to take it personal. She has been settling in pretty well, so I'm not going to push it just quite yet. I think the first couple of days home are the most important, so I want to make sure I don't do anything to slow her training down because I'm too excited to get my hands on her. Kind of cool, I walked past her pen, she followed me a little bit, and then she nickered at me, so I went back over to see if she wanted to interact a little bit. It looks like she still is just not quite brave enough to come over and get a regular treat out of my hand. She took another few steps back, and I decided that after she started pawing, she was getting a little bit too stressed, so I called it quits again. This girl is pretty brave, so when she's scared, I do not think she is going to be a very flighty horse. I think she is going to be closer to the type of mare that will want to fight you. I noticed when she was getting stressed at the event, she was stomping a little bit too. I wasn't quite sure if it was because of the flies, but now it is pretty obvious that when she gets stressed before she has any kind of fear response, that is her go-to move.
Good boys. Whippy.
All of the other horses have really been a good influence for the new girl. I've had them all for quite a long time, and they were really chill yesterday when she came home. Even when she started running and jumping around a little bit, they basically just stared at her and waited for their dinner. All of this hay that I'm giving them this afternoon is just stuff from Frisco and Nigel's pen. They really just push the alfalfa around and eat the leaves because they are missing a bunch of teeth. I hate for hay to go to waste, so these boys can get a little bit of an extra snack this afternoon. I'm really glad now that I put the mayor's little pen in the middle of the centralized horse area. She gets to see me coming and going and interacting with all of the horses, and hopefully that will make her a little bit quicker to come around in the long run. Another thing that I noticed that she does when she's a little bit stressed is go right to her water bucket. It was crystal clear before she came in yesterday, and now it is all muddied up because she keeps putting her feet in it and blowing bubbles with her nose. After me pestering her on and off for the last 2 hours, it looks like she is definitely over it. She does seem to be an opinionated little thing, and for right now, I'm going to let her have her space. I've got around 4 months to get to know this girl, and there's no sense pushing it before she's ready. It is looking like her favorite feed is going to be the senior feed that I've been giving her. I would really love her to start eating the Grow and Win so she can get the full amount of vitamins and minerals that she needs. While she does look really healthy now, I'm sure there are some holes in her nutrition because they are just getting alfalfa hay at holding. When I got her yesterday, I did get some paperwork so I could see when she's been dewormed, when her feet have been trimmed, and when she was vaccinated. It's looking like they don't have anything recent on here, and I'm wondering if that's just because this report was printed out in July. We were all really lucky to get these foster horses because the government is shut down right now, but I'm going to keep this information in mind when I go to vaccinate her and get her on a trim schedule. But none of that is going to be possible until she gets gentled down.
Gotta stay here, buddy. Sorry. Come on. Alright.
By the time dinner time rolled around, it looks like she is back to being my friend. I think it might be that she just really likes this alfalfa that I have for her. She is being relatively brave with me on the other side of the fence, and I'm thinking maybe tomorrow or the next day I will go in her pen.
That's a nice
It was really neat. While I was making my plans for the next couple of days, I had my first touch on her nose while she was home.
Huckleberry.
She did spot Huckleberry out of the corner of her eye, and he did make her a little bit nervous. I'm really hoping that this girl gets a little bit more brave and decides to go in her little outdoor stall pretty soon. It is not gonna stay nice and sunshiny forever, and I think she'll like it as the weather gets a little bit colder out. Since she's been relatively calm, I decided to feed her like I would any of the other horses, so I tossed her hay in pretty normally. She was a little bit scared by it, but I think it's important not to tiptoe around these new horses too much when you know that they have a pretty good handle on their reactiveness and how easily they can calm themselves down. I'm pretty proud of this girl. After her first 24 hours, she let me get my first touch through the panel. She's been eating out of my hand, and she has been snacking more and more on this senior feed, so hopefully I'll be able to get her on a feeding program that is more to my liking soon. I do have a timeline for this girl's training that I need to meet, and at this point in time, I think it is totally realistic. It makes me a little bit sad thinking back to how Scarlett was when I very first got her. This little redhead is definitely a bit better off than she was. She is definitely still very reserved around me, and I will be super excited to kind of peel away the layers over the next couple of days. Thank you guys so much for watching, and stay tuned for the next video.